Well done as fear label. I found another interesting point within the labeling of people, within allowing myself to be basically stopped and limited in my expression through fear within and by being labeled by other people. So this is that self-limitation can exist within being labeled as negative. For instance, you suck, or you think too much, or it can also be positive. For instance, if somebody says to me about, for example, a video that I have made, and in the comments I receive something like well done, or awesome, or great, or something like that, what happens is that I will immediately identify myself with that comment and feel really good about myself and judge myself as good, etc. And I will feel good about having these people as like people who like me and people who support me, and I will all of a sudden feel supported, like I am suddenly more than I was a few seconds ago before I read the comment. And what happens then is that I will start to limit my expression within fear of losing that person, within fear of losing their support, because obviously then I would come falling down my ladder that I have climbed up by identifying myself with that comment. So that is also a label that can work in a limited way, and that can also instill fear. So it doesn't have to be negative. It's, positive labels and judgments as well actually cause fear, because then the ego gets built up, and then that person will be afraid of expressing themselves freely anymore, because I might lose my followers, I might lose my the people I like, that like me, that liked me before. So now I have to make sure that my expression remains positive according to these people. So what happens then is obviously I will change and adapt myself so that I will still be likable, thus not being myself anymore. And I noticed this within my life a lot of times. I did that whenever I noticed that I was saying something and someone said, wow, that's really smart, or that's really cool, or somebody laughed at a joke that I made, or somebody gave me some kind of special attention that showed me that they are really interested in what I have to say. All of a sudden, when I notice that, I start to change my expression, and I start to pay attention to what I'm saying, and I start to actually alter the words I'm speaking, and I start to speak more in a way that will please them, instead of actually speaking the truth as speaking myself and just saying whatever I have to say without thinking about what people may or may not want to hear. Because all of a sudden I had identified myself immediately with getting that positive attention from that person, and which made me feel good inside, so I immediately feared losing that positive feeling within myself, thus fearing to be myself and to express myself out of fear that I will lose that support that I've identified myself with. And that's actually also what happens with, for instance, spiritual people or leaders, any kind of leaders, any kind of people who get that sort of positive attention. Some of them may start out speaking words of wisdom or speaking the truth and simply, standing up for what is actually real, and then they get that positive attention, and then what happens? Obviously they fear losing that positive attention, they fear losing their followers, they fear losing the public, they fear losing the support of the people. So all of a sudden they'll start to not be truly honest anymore. They start to not speak the truth anymore, and that's how people get fucked. That's how we all get fucked, and that's how leadership can very quickly turn into deceit and manipulation and control. And not. That's how, leaders who were first seen as these heroes and saviors and, friends of the people can very quickly over time turn into people who just want more and more and more attention and power, and because they just want to feel good, they just want to continue feeling good, they want to continue getting the positive attention from the people. So that's with spiritual people as well. That's why so many spiritual people are only saying what people want to hear. Basically, they're just speaking words of love and light and enlightenment, and kind of tweaking their words and placing their words very precisely so that everybody will continue to give them positive attention and everybody will continue to like them, because now that they've got all that positive attention, they fear losing it. So unfortunately, that's what happens in this world, and that's what causes people to actually not stay true to themselves anymore. So that's an interesting label of fear that is important that we not give into. So if you recognize that sort of fear or experience, or if you have another fear to share or a label to share that you recognize, that it limits you in your self-expression, feel free to share in a video response or place a comment below my video here. Thanks.